and they let me know they're okay.
Well,
So,
I gotta say, like, out of all the people that I hear doing research of this, I think you're the one that's heading in the right direction, and it's obviously, paying off for you. If they're leaving you stuff too. Like,
hmm
that's absolutely amazing. I just haven't heard of that from anyone else. But I want to thank you again for coming on. If you have anything that you want to plug, I know you've wrote a couple books. If you want to throw those out there for people that are listening, I know that they absolutely love this episode. So I would like for them to all try to get your books. If you want to plug anything you want, now's time.
yeah, well, I have two books on Amazon. The first one is Indiana Bigfoot, The Beautiful Mind. That kind of takes you through my evolution of being scared spitless and to understanding them and realizing just how incredibly intelligent they are. And then the second one is The Cave and Beyond, where we actually find a cave. And what happens back there is some pretty crazy, crazy stuff. And it just kind of moves on from there. And I am working on a third book. It's not going to be this type of book. It's not going to be telling my stories because those two books are my stories. I don't try to pound the belief into anybody's head. I just want people to hear my stories and realize that, hey, she sounds like she's telling the truth, you know,
Yeah.
that's all I want. I don't want to convince anybody. If you want to read it and become a believer, that's okay. And if you don't want to believe it, that's okay too. And I hope you're entertained because my family can get a little on the silly side. The Cave and Beyond, again, it kind of takes off from the first book. The book I'm working on now is Bigfoot habituation and trust earning research. Yeah, that's the name of it.
When
And
should we expect that one to be out?
probably in the next month
Okay.
because I have so many people who ask me questions. I want to do it. Where should I go? Where should I not go? Where should I put it? What should I leave? And so I'm going to put a book out there, and hopefully, some people who, want to get into research, but really aren't the ones, to go out into the woods and knock on trees and do all the crazy stuff, that maybe they want to try a more gentle approach because it works. It really, really works. Just as long as you don't do it on your own property. Never, 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 never do it on your own property.
Oh, really? Now, why would
Yeah.
that be? Just
Um, well, because we have a family that lives here in Indiana that has lived on the same land for 18 years. They've had all kinds of crazy things happening, but it wasn't until just a couple years ago when they actually saw Bigfoot for the first time. And now they realize, once they've learned, that the Bigfoots have been there the whole time and that they had watched them bring all of their children home from the hospital. And I think once they understood that they were there, they started showing themselves to them. And this is where I heard the first Mind Speak stories, were through his children, because they were getting messages and they were having dreams. And these were teenagers. And so everybody in the family has seen the Bigfoots except for the mother, except for the woman of the house. They do her in that, they say, out of respect. And they asked me about leaving them some things. And I, told them about the milk and things like that. And they learned very quickly that you do not leave it on your own property, because if you do that, you're inviting them in on your property. And so when they were away one day, one of them got into the garage and got the stockpile of milk and took it. So I told him, I said, yeah, from now on, I think you'd better just, go out into the woods, into their territory, and leave it for them. So that way, this is my house. That is your house. I bring to you, and if you have gifts for me, you bring to me. And they said, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. But this gentleman is actually, in the middle of the night, saw a juvenile Bigfoot. He said was probably a teenager, babysitting two little ones that looked to be, probably about a size of a 3 or 4 year old child. And they were running around his backyard in the moonlight playing while the older one watched.
what?
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. It's once you get to the point where they trust you, and these people had 18 years of trust building without even realizing it. And yeah, so they've been very blessed, especially to see the children. I
Yeah.
mean, we have seen a juvenile before, and I know there's a baby, but I've not seen the baby. The ones that you rarely see are the babies and the females. And we were blessed enough to we got to see a female the end of May this year. My husband and I saw her in Yellowwood State Forest.
Jeez.
It
That's
was so
awesome.
cool.
I want to see
So
a
yeah,
Bigfoot now.
our little group out here. I got to plug the Indiana Bigfoot Research Organization. Leroy and Nancy Nail run it, and we've got some great people who we work with out there. And I love everybody. They're a bunch of nuts. They're so much fun to hang around. But when it comes to Bigfoot, we're very serious. We're very serious researchers. And together, I think we've all really built an amazing little group. And anybody out there in Indiana who, is at all interested in being involved, the IBRO does have a Facebook page. And you can join the Facebook page even if you don't live in Indiana.
Is that where you
And
post your evidence at?
no, I don't post my evidence there.
Okay.
Most of the evidence I post is on my personal page.
Okay. On your Facebook?
Usually in my photo albums and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah. So the 2 books are out there. The 3rd one will be coming, and I also, out of the fun of it and the fact that we as Bigfoot researchers all thought, somebody really needs to make Bigfoot shirts that are a little cooler. So I actually started my own line of Bigfoot stuff, and it's on Facebook, and it's called Bigfoot Stuff.
Bigfoot
And
stuff. I love
so
it.
we do. I design T-shirts and hoodies and gear bags and everything that you could want with Bigfoot on it. And some of the shirts are actually inspired by some of the things that we've had happen to us. Like the one T-shirt that says it's all fun and games till somebody starts throwing rocks. Because the Bigfoots have thrown rocks at us before up at Yellowwood. And immediately they snapped up those shirts. So I like to name a lot of the things after the people that inspire them. Like we have a liquor flask that you can actually customize with your name. And I named it after Leroy because sometimes, he would need a little liquid courage when things started getting a little hairy out there. So
That's hilarious. I love that you do that.
It's fun. Yeah, a lot of people don't believe, they see me and they think, yeah, she's just a little bitty girl, she's a mom, she's a grandma and everything, but I'm a badass chick. I'm out there researching, and like they say, we go out on expeditions and Edie will just disappear into the forest by herself. She's not afraid of anything. I said, they're not going to hurt me. So I don't know why you guys don't do it. I'm not afraid of them. They're not going to hurt me.
See,
So
that brings a different approach to investigating for you, because you just have this, you just know that they're not going to mess with you, as where other people are going to have this fear factor level.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, and it's just a different way of looking at it. It's just a different way of looking at it, and I think I don't know, I call it a beautiful side of research. Because I'm really getting to know their personalities and their little quirks and the things that they like and the things that they don't like. They don't like citrus.
No citrus.
They do not like citrus. They will take an orange and they will bust it on the nearest tree. They don't like mangoes. They were probably like, what is this crap? They like things that are native to them. So even though bananas aren't quite native in Indiana, but they really like bananas. So just kind of, I don't know. It's a fun thing for me. I really enjoy doing it. And I love doing shows like this because I like hearing people's questions and their comments. And, a lot of people ask me about things. Do you think they're related to aliens? Do you think this and do you think that? And like I said, I'm not going to say yes or no until I have something happen to me. And that was like with the Mind Speak and batteries being drained, and we've seen strange flashes of light, like right in our faces in the middle of the forest. My husband and I had that happen twice, and we still to this day have no idea what's going on.
Well, I got to say, there's plenty more to talk about, so we're going to have you back on in the future for sure.
Not a problem. I enjoy doing it.
This is, I can't thank you enough for coming on. I know that a ton of people are going to love this episode. So again, guys, reach out to her Amazon page, get her books, check them out. We will have Edie back on in the future. I can guarantee you that, because there's just so much that we didn't get to go into tonight. But Edie, again, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. I really enjoyed it. I love doing these things.
Good deal. Well, you have a good night, and thank you so much.
Okay, you do the same. Thanks for having me.
Bye, Edie.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
Boom, boom. And there it is. Another awesome episode. There was so much that I didn't get to go into. We're going to have to do this again. Edie, thank you so much. That was awesome. I've been looking forward to this. Literally, like I said, for a year, I've been sitting here thinking about this episode, and, it's people like that think outside the box and do things differently, and don't worry about what's happening around them and what other people are doing. She's definitely onto something there, and again, like I said, we got so much more we could go into. Edie, thank you again. Guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. If you would, give this a share, let other people hear it, and I will see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in to 51 Areas Talk Radio. See you next week.